amazing day planned for you guys today. Normally we do virtual summits. We've got thought leaders from all spaces, all types of spaces, literally from all over the world. So we've done virtual summits with a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners overseas. This month, we've got just a really, really cool opportunity to be able to hear from a handful of Grant Cardone licensees. These, every one of these communicators that are going to be here today are close friends of mine, people who are absolutely crushing it in the business world. And today, each of these communicators are going to be sharing about 10 minutes on their personal top 1 or 2 success principles for their businesses. From Mikey Ciorroco, who is an owner and founder of a large mortgage company, to Tom Alston, a really close friend of mine who runs Aero Tax Marine Services in Sacramento, California, to Greg Martirano, who owns his own fitness and finance brand, to Troy Milliken, to Aaron and Sarit, who are some of the top online fitness trainers. And you'll see Sarit's been featured on Maxim magazine cover. Just some really top-notch entrepreneurs that are going to be with us today. So each communicator has about 10 minutes. They're going to share their top 1 or 2 success principles and how they've grown their business. And then we're going to take about 5 minutes for Q&A. So a couple of things I'd love for you to do as we get started today is I'd love for you over in the chat room as you come in. We're streaming live right now on YouTube. We're streaming live on Facebook. So our team is checking out the Facebook feed. Our team is also going to be monitoring the YouTube feed as well. And here on Zoom, if you're live with us, welcome. This is going to be a phenomenal next couple hours as you're going to get to hear from some of Grant Cardone's top licensees. Ken, what's a Grant Cardone licensee? A Grant Cardone licensee is someone like myself, like Mikey, everyone you're going to hear with today, that really believe in the principle and the method of the 10X principle of really taking everything in your life and multiplying it by 10. Like literally that standard is what we live. And as my good friend Richie Dolan would say, live and adhere to and strive for. So you're going to have the opportunity to be able to hear from them. If you would, if you're in the Zoom room or on Facebook or on YouTube, I'd love for you to jot in the chat where you're from, what city you're from, a little bit about what you do, and even drop in the chat your Instagram handle. I'd love to connect with you. Our team would love to connect with you. And I'm sure every one of these communicators that are going to be with us today would love to connect with you as well. So we're going to get started today, man. Let me introduce to you guys, number one, my little brother, Mikey Ciorroco. He's actually not my little brother. We just act like he calls me big brother, which means I'm older than he is. And so I want to introduce to you Mike Ciorroco, affectionately known as Ciorroco. Mikey is one of Grant's top licensees. Mikey is one of the owners from Nations Lending in Maryland, a top mortgage producer, tens of millions, really hundreds of millions of dollars in mortgages produced. Mikey also owns the brand. Your brand is what? It just went off my screen, Mikey. Introduce your brand real quick that you guys are doing. Used to be Waymo, and your brand now is what?
Well,
Mikey?
we have the What Are You Made Of podcast, but also Rocket Fuel and Rocket Fuel Lifestyle is the brand, and I'll talk more about that after. Did you want me to take over from here?
No. I want to talk about your book. My guy's got a book coming out soon. People say, Ken, do you promote other people's books on your podcast and on your virtual? You better believe I do, because I really believe in if the number one of the top limiting belief systems that we cover at Grow Stack Drive is the limited belief system of comparison. We believe the way to combat comparison in your life is to collaborate. And so that's why we bring on top-notch communicators and we promote their stuff, really, to be honest with you, just as much as we do ours. I believe you need voices from different angles to be able to help you be well-rounded, to be able to crush your entrepreneur dreams and your entrepreneur vision. So without further ado, my good friend, Mikey Ciorroco. Buddy, you got 10 minutes. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? I'm putting the link for the book. It just went on pre-sale yesterday. We had sales flowing through like crazy. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I'm humbled to be in an opportunity or in a position to be able to impact people's lives and inspire people. And this journey for me started about a year and a half ago, probably 40 some years ago. But a year and a half ago, I became aware of something. And that something was that I had an animal caged up inside of me. I had like a beast in me that was like, and a good beast, but it was caged up because I was worried about what people think. I was worried about my employees and being too hard on them. I was worried about what my wife would think. I was worried about all this nonsense. And, I want to start off by talking about Grant Cardone, because when my stepfather passed away, who was my mentor, George, I told the story about George before. George stepped in when I was 11 years old and took over for my father, who had given up on me, threw a $100 bill at me, told me I'm going to need this when I'm living on the streets one day. George stepped in at that time at a young, impressionable age of 11 years old. And George passed away in 2019 at January, suddenly, of a heart attack, coming out of the woods hunting for deer. And right about that time, and I know I only have 10 minutes, so I'd love to talk about George more, but right about that time, I ran into Grant, and he stepped in. It was a timing thing, like right at the right time when I needed a mentor, because I wasn't ready to not have a mentor going forward. 40-some years old, I still wasn't ready to be released. But I had this animal inside of me, and when I read Grant's book, 10X Rule, my little brother read it, and he's like, "Man, this guy sounds like you. You need to read this." So I read it, and basically the validity that was given to me to unleash the animal was like so freeing. I can't even put it into words. And I'm sure some of you have felt this before, but I just became a confident soul, where I knew that no matter what, if people wanted to be around me, they had to accept the animal that I was and get on board and follow along and take some of the energy and use it for themselves, or they could just not be in my life. It was their decision, not mine. So I wanted to start off by talking about that, because that's important to me. That's what Grant's meant to me. He's been a hero to me in that fashion, because right at that time when my stepfather George passed away, he was there from afar, of course, like it always starts. And then you work your way to building relationships with people. But that's important to everything that I'm doing now, and it's inspired and dedicated to my stepfather George. And then also now, I just want to be the best that I can be to show Grant some gratitude besides the money that we give him. And by the way, I give Grant a lot of money, because every time I give him money, I get a whole bunch back in return. It's just magic. So anyway, we're here talking about success principles, and Ken, chime in anytime you want, but there's 4 things I want to talk about today that have helped us grow our mortgage division. And by the way, we talk